Okay, so welcome to this last chapter now in this introductory course. We've learnt a lot already about Inventor, but there's one final part we need to learn, and that is how to represent our designs so that we can give them to someone else. So either to a manufacturer or maybe for ourselves, we can print them off, and it just makes it easier to make the individual parts because you can put the dimensions on and things like that. So I just want to show you the difference between a model and a drawing. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but it is an introductory course. I don't want anyone to get left behind. So what we have here, this is a model. This is our 3D representation of a box that we made in a previous chapter, and this can be considered a model file. Okay, it's an assembly file in Inventor. Assembly files and model files, part files and model files. A drawing, on the other hand, would look like this. So this is a representation, a view of our model. We have a front view and a side view, and here we put on our dimensions so that it can be made. This is the kind of thing you'd give to someone or you'd use yourself to manufacture that part. Okay. So in this last chapter, we're going to look at how we get from our model a drawing like this that we can give out. And with Inventor, one of the great things is it does a lot of this for you. If you're coming from an AutoCAD background or something like AutoCAD, you will have drawn out all this kind of stuff, and this might have been your model, this might have been all you had. But Inventor just does so much for you. Okay, so we're going to do it, we'll do it together, and we'll do it. Our first drawing file will be based on this box we did. We'll do one for the sides of this box. Okay, so it's important, whatever you want to show in your drawing file, you need open in the background. Okay, so I'm going to click on this side, I'm going to right click it, I'm going to click open. Okay, and there we have this open. Now what I want to do, I just want to make sure that we have a correct view here. So let's look at this. Our top view there, and if we just rotate that around, I actually think that is more of a front view. Okay, that's more suited to a front view. If you think about where it is in the box, for this particular part, it's a front view. So what I'll do is I'll just hover over here, pull down this arrow, I'll set current view as front. Okay, and that just changes it. It doesn't change anything to do with the model, it just means when we bring it into the drawing file, this will be the front of the object. Okay, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to open this side, and again I want this face, so it's currently the top. I want this orientation here to be the front, and there we go. Okay, so now in order to create a drawing file, because it's a different type of file, we need to go to new, and we'll open it, and we're looking at this section here. Okay, now I just want to tell you there's two different options here. There's standard.dwg and standard.idw. If any of you are coming from an AutoCAD background, then DWG will be familiar with you. DWG is the file format for AutoCAD. Okay, now years ago with Inventor we had this IDW, and that is what Inventor used for a drawing file. Inventor and Autodesk are made by the same people, so there was some kind of questions as to why there wasn't a bit more commonality between the two. And if you look, let me cancel this. If we do go back to our drawing file, this does look like an AutoCAD file. It's a simple thing to open in AutoCAD. If you could put that into AutoCAD, it wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't be considered a complex drawing at all. It's very basic. So there's no reason why this couldn't be AutoCAD format. And that's what happened. AutoDesk, who make both softwares, decided they would kind of combine the drawing sheet and with a DWG format to make it easier to move between the two. So when you have these two options, they will both do exactly the same. They will look exactly the same. The difference is this will be compatible with AutoCAD. I recommend always using this one. There won't be any difference between the two for yourself, but you never know when something's going to end up in AutoCAD. And especially if you are sending it out to a manufacturer, they may not have Inventor. They probably have got AutoCAD of some sort. So, like I say, to you, it wouldn't matter which one of these you clicked on. They would both work the same way. So I would tend to always stick with this DWG one, okay? The IDW, like I say, is the original Inventor format. Yeah, so we will go with DWG, and it's set to millimeters, so you highlight that and you click create, okay? Now, you'll be presented with this drawing sheet. Okay, so this is your piece of paper, if you like, that you would print on. And you have this line around the outside with these numbers. This is the border. The numbers are just coordinates, so that you could, it's something some producers like. If you're sending drawings out to someone and they say there's an error, they can kind of say to you, well, the error is in square B5, and you know that it's around here. It's not, to be honest, not many people use it these days. These are lines showing you how to fold the drawing. Again, it's in there, but whether it would be any use to anyone, I don't know. And this here is your what's called a title block. So this is where you'll put all the information about the drawing. So who drew it, who checked it, who approved it, the dates they were approved and drawn. You would usually have probably a company logo in here. You would have a drawing name and a drawing number, an issue. So if it had been revised a few times, it might be, each time it was revised, it might be go from issue 1 to issue 2 to issue 3, and sheet. So some complicated designs might span over 4 different sheets. So you might say this is sheet 1 of 4. Okay. Now, if you're doing Inventor and you're learning Inventor so that you can use it in the workplace, what I'm going to teach you now may work slightly different, because your workplace may have its own, well, they will have their own title block, which is probably going to be way more complicated than this. It might have its own system of editing it, and you will be shown that because that's a company specific thing. When it comes to what we're going to do in terms of putting in our views and dimensions and text and things, that will be, you'll need that and you'll use that still. But in terms of the title block, that can vary very much between employers. If you're just doing it for yourself for a hobby, you might not need much information at all. You probably don't have your own numbering system, for instance. Depending on how much you do, you might do if you do a lot of projects. It's likely you just give it a name and maybe an issue and sheets. But we're going to go through it anyway, and this is a basic course. In the advanced course, I'll be showing you how to create your own title block and really change everything. In this course, I'm just going to show you how to get your information on the piece of paper so that you can print it out and give it out and just put the basic information in here. Okay. So the default, and again we have this over here like we did in the part and the assembly file. So let me recap first. We have sheet, which is this white sheet, a sheet of paper, and in here we have a border, and we have On mine it's saying BSI. Now it might say something else here for you, but it should have the same picture of a blue square. So this default border is this line around the outside. That's a border. Okay, this one's got these letters and numbers and these arrows, but it's basically the border around your drawing. That's the border of this here. Sorry, this here relates to the title block. The title block is this square that contains the text and the information. Okay, so if you are coming from AutoCAD, you're probably used to this being one complete object, the title block being the box here and the border. In Inventor they're separated, mainly because you might have the same title block on different sizes of paper, but your border will change obviously if you go from large sheets to small sheets. So anyway, here we can see we've got a border and we've got our title block. And if we look in our resource, these are the resources available to us. Okay, so if we look, we've got sheet sizes, borders. We've only got one with our default border. Again, if you go into the workplace, your borders available to use will be stored in here. Your title blocks available to use will be stored in here, unless they have a different system using Volt and all kinds. Again, it's too there's so many options that a company could do. I don't really want to confuse people here. I'm going to assume you're just learning Inventor for yourself, kind of a hobbyist thing, and we're just using what we get with the software. Okay, so we just have these two. If we right click over sheet, okay, and you click edit sheet, you can see the size you've got. So you could change it to A4. You might want to do that. Actually, most people have A4 printers rather than A3 printers at home, so you might want to change it to A4. Okay, in fact we will do that. Let's change it to A4, so then you can print it from home easily. And you can see it looks like our title block got bigger. All that's happened is the borders come in and this has stayed the same. Okay,